Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I created this really blown out pink Valentine's Day look. I created it using the Plouise Love Tapes palette. If you not have this or you have been looking to buy it, then hopefully this is the review for you. It is a one brand tutorial, so I've used Plouise on my eyes, on my lips and on my cheeks, but you'll have to wait to see that. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and let's get started. Now, the reason I am using this today is because this was actually her Valentine's collection, I think last year, if not last year, the year before, and I wanted to do a pink look, and I have not used this yet whatsoever, and I'm kind of raging. I put on highlighter, but there's highlighters in here, so I might just go over my highlighter with the highlighters that are in here. But yes, we're going to be using the Plouise Love Tapes palette. Like I said, I have not used it. This is her Love Tapes palette. It's obviously in the shape of like a cassette. It is very big, like you cannot travel with any of Plouise's palettes. However, they are beautiful. This is what the palette looks like on the inside. It has a mirror, but the mirror is kind of like that disjointed type of mirror. So I'm going to be playing around with this palette today. I don't know what kind of look I'm going to go for. I'm going to stick to this palette just because I do want it to be kind of like a one brand tutorial type thing. So originally I thought this is way more pinky, but it's actually way more reddy toned. So I'm gonna just roll with the punches, I think. I'm just going to swatch these highlighters to see. Ooh, they're very creamy and very buttery. So that's what they look like. One is more like a silver and the other is kind of more of like a gold. So just to let you guys know, I have already primed my eyes with the Plouise base, and I primed it with the shade 02. So the first shade that I'm going to go in with is this shade here, which is called Screw. So I've just taken the shade Screw on a little brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start packing it on my outer corner. So this colour kind of looked a bit red in the palette, but it's actually coming out a lot more pinky, which I'm kind of glad about because I wanted to do a pink look today, because obviously Valentine's Day, it just reminds me of pinks and reds, more so pinks. So I'm just literally just packing that on my outer corner. Apparently we're going for like a blown out effect. I don't really know what I am planning on doing, so you're just gonna have to bear with me throughout this whole tutorial. It's not even a tutorial, is it? I'm then just gonna take like a small fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into the shade here, which is Passion, and I'm gonna start blending out that Screw shade. And I'm going to start to like wing it out because I want it quite blown out. Now usually if I was going in with these deep colours, I would usually go in with my eyes first instead of doing my base first, but I just wanted to have something on my face before I started this so I didn't look absolutely crazy. I'm starting to bring the colour Passion right in to my inner corner, and I'm purposely bringing this up quite high because I want it to be quite a blown out effect. So now I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is Smitten, and I'm going to just start blending that all out. And I want it right up to my brow bone, and for this I'm using a Zoeva Luxe crease brush, but it's quite fluffy. So then I'm going to go back down a step and I'm going to dip into the shade Passion again, and I'm just going to reinforce that back in to my crease, just because we definitely lost that a little bit with blending out that last shade. And then going back in with our blender. And take your time doing this, like go back and forth as many times as you need to until you're happy with it. And then lastly, obviously we're going to go into the shade Screw, we're just going to press that back in. And you just want to keep swapping between your blending brushes until you're happy with the blend. So I'm trying to keep the colours as close together as possible. I don't want a really big difference between my first colour and my last colour, just because I want this to be very pink and very blown out. And then I'm just going to do the same to the other eye and I'll be back. Okay, so I was planning on doing just a very like smoked out pink with a glitter all over the lid, but now I feel like I want to cut the crease. Now I wish I had the Plouise in blank canvas, but I don't, so I'm just going to go back in with my Plouise base, and this is in the shade 02, so it's the colour that I used on my lids. And I'm just going to go into one of her brushes and I'm just going to pop this on the back of my hand and start spreading it all over my brush so it's like evenly on my brush. I'm going to start slowly cutting the crease. So take your time with this, just so you get the exact shape that you want. And just keep patting over it, because obviously I am going to have to set this with shadow just because it is a base and not a paint. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this pale pink here, which is the shade Urge, all over where I put that base. Can you tell I have no idea what I'm doing today? Usually I plan out my looks, but today I really have not, and I don't know if it's going to pay off or not. So I'm literally just setting that base with the shade Urge. Then I'm just going to take this really small fluffy brush and I'm going to mix the shade Smitten and the shade Passion that we used to begin with, and I'm just going to blend it on this edge here to soften that line. And then what I'm going to do is I actually want a little bit of more darker pink here, so I'm going to go back in with the first shade, which was Screw, and just kind of like deepen it up the tiniest bit again. It's literally just a process of like going back in between your darker and your lighter shades and just blending them until you're happy with the process. Okay, so I'm really happy with that, so I'm going to go do the other eye and then I'll be back. So I've got a couple of paints to choose from to go on my waterline. I'm like, do I go with a purple on my waterline? Do I go with a white and make it like really bright? Or do I go with this? I don't know what to go for. Okay, I think I'm going to go for this just because I'm scared to use the purple, so I'm going to use the Plouise Crisp Finish Paint in the shade Tangy Tease. If you've not tried the Plouise paints, you honestly need to. They are unreal for your waterline. Her bases are meant to be set with an eyeshadow, while her paints, you don't need to set them. They dry by themselves and they dry within 30 to 60 seconds. So that's why you can use them in your waterline. If you try and use the Plouise bases in your waterline, they're not going to work, but all of our paints are great for the waterline. Okay, now that that is in my waterline, I'm going to go in with the first shade that we used, which is Screw, and I'm going to start pressing this right up to my lash line with just a little bullet pencil brush. I'm going to go in with a little bit more of a fluffier brush, like so. I'm actually going to skip the shade Passion and go straight into the shade Smitten, which was our last transition colour, and then just blend that out. The shade Smitten and the shade that we have in our waterline are very, very similar to each other, so that's why I picked Tangy Tease. Also, the next two makeup tutorials that you're going to see. They won't be till like later next week. One is going to be winged liner with a red lip for Valentine's Day, and then another one is just going to be like my everyday soft glam. Okay, now I really want to get these highlighters on my face, so I'm going to go in with the kind of more golden shade. That is the shade Happily Ever After, and I'm just going in with my normal brush. I'm just going to place it. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. I do have a bit of Ofra Rodeo Drive on, but this, ooh, they are pretty. And I'm now just going to take a really tiny brush and go into that gold highlighter and pop it on my inner corners just to brighten them up a bit. I'm now just going to pop on mascara so you can see what it looks like with just mascara on, because I know some people don't like to wear lashes, so I'm just going to show you what it looks like with just mascara on. So this is what makeup looks like with just mascara on. Obviously, if you don't like wearing lashes, you don't have to. I personally, especially with a dramatic look like this and the colours that we've used, I prefer to have a lash on just so my eyes don't feel like really overpowered. So I'm going to pop on some lashes. I'm going to pop on the shade Poppy from Sosu, and I'll be back. While I'm waiting for the glue to dry, I'm just going to pop on some lips. So I'm actually going to use more Plouise just because I might as well. I'm going to use her lip kit in the shade Boarding Pass. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my lips. And then I'm going to go in with the lipstick. And then just because I prefer a gloss on top, I'm going to go in with Colourpop Luxe Lip Oil in the shade Skinny Dip. And I'm just going to quickly go pop on these lashes and I'll be back. So while the glue is still drying, I'm just going to talk about the palette. I really like this palette. I do think there needs to be more shimmers. There's actually only 2 shimmers in it, which are this one here and then this one here. So that is something that I wish there was more of. I suppose you could use the highlighters as glitters or shimmers, but I don't know. I wish there was more shimmers in it. I wish there were more lighter colours as well. As you can see, the lighter colours don't really match with the darker colours. They're kind of like a random peach, which is what I used. Then Urge is like a pink. There's no like really light kind of like pinky reddy kind of colour, does that make sense? Other than that, the formula is absolutely beautiful. It blended beautifully. I've just realised that this side is higher blown out than this side, but we're going to ignore that. Other than that, besides the shimmers and besides they're just needing lighter colours to like blend out with, this palette is absolutely beautiful. I do wish it was a little bit smaller, or I wish you could take this out, but unfortunately you can't. Like, that is proper stuck in there. If you are looking for a Valentine's present, maybe for your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whichever, and if they're into makeup, this is definitely a really good palette to pick up for them, because it's surrounded around Valentine's Day, has Valentine's Day colours, and I just think it is a beautiful palette. I'm happy with how the eye look turned out. I do wish that I'd realised that one side's higher than the other, but that's okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is one of 3 Valentine's Day looks that will be coming. Like I said, a liner and red lips will be the next one, and then also a soft glam look for Valentine's Day. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. All my products for my giveaway have arrived, so I'm going to be filming that very soon, and that is going to go up next Thursday, so make sure you're subscribed because that is one of the rules. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you're doing well. Let me know if there is any other makeup looks you want to see, maybe using this palette, if you want me to use the reds or maybe the purples, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.